Now, how strong are the God's Knights? Haki, devil fruit powers, more mysterious powers. We are here to discover it all. So you better hang on tight and let's get this ball rolling. So, when it comes to the God's Knights, we already know that the God's Knights are about like 10 people, 10 members with a captain. So 11 in total, I believe. Or maybe it's 10 with a captain. We don't know for sure, but we just know that there's going to be at least 10 God's Knights. The first that I can confirm are, of course, the ones we see in Elbaf. So Gunko, Shamrock, you know, the evil twin, Summers, the thorn guy, and then the guy that I call the Killin, that little creature, the dragon creature that have the dream fruit or something, meaning that if you dream of something, then he can get into your dream and get that dream from you in a way. Just like we saw with the Salt episode. And basically all of them have their traits and different personalities. For example, the evil twin of Shanks, Shamrock, we don't know what kind of powers he might be using, but we only know that he's got a sword that can transform because it's got maybe a devil fruit or maybe something else. We don't know. A lot of devils in this video. And basically what we just saw is that it's the evil twin, and we're probably guessing that the evil twin must stand at the same level that his other twin, so the same as Shanks, for example. So level power, maybe the same as Shanks. Yonko level, we're talking. But we move on to Gunko. Gunko, for example, when we're talking about Haki or devil fruit or whatever kind of power she's got, we can already see that, yes, she's very strong physically, so she can literally mess you up just with a punch, for example, but at the same time her devil fruit plays a big role, and we can see that with her arrow fruit she's actually capable of making her own body into arrows or direct arrows. So basically it's a very strange power. I'm not gonna get pretty much into her power, but I'm just talking about how strong her power is. And compared to other devil fruits, her power is pretty strong because the stuff that she can do with it, I am telling you, she took that devil fruit to the most extreme level. But at the same time, maybe she's using a lot of Haki. She knows a lot of Haki. We don't know yet, but from everything we can see, they are just super powerful, and very important thing to not forget, they are also immortal. So even, I don't know, if you, just like what happened to Summers, if you get sliced in half, literally, you might still be alive. You just need to be stitched up, especially with his thorn fruit, you know, he maybe just needs to get stitched up. And in the One Piece world, I wouldn't be surprised that he's actually still alive, you know. And same thing applies for Gunko and all of the other God's Knights. All of them are immortal, so we need to discover a very important solution, something really reliable that the Straw has or anybody can use to actually win against them, you know, like, I don't know, chopping their head off or something. But for Gunko, just like I was saying, so yeah, she's got a devil fruit power, she's using Haki, she's super powerful physically, and she's immortal. Perfect combination for a God Knights, you know, God's Knights. And right after that, the Killing guy. The Killing guy, he is weird looking. He looks like a weird little dragon, you know. All of that appearance might be just an appearance, like a costume or something on top of him. Like something out of his own dream that he got stuck with or something. The fact that he can make everybody sleep and all of that. Maybe he's using Haki at the same time. We didn't see him properly fight against no one pretty much, and all I can say until now is that yes, he's pretty strong, but at the same time, you gotta be very careful when you deal with that kind of guy, because you don't know what to expect and he might get you to sleep before you even know it, you know? Then moving on to Summers. Summers is the one that's pretty much in the whole fight right now with Gunko. And he has the thorn fruit. His devil fruit power is devilish, because just like he said in one chapter, the more you care about one person, the more those thorns are gonna go around that person and hurt them more. And the more you get close to them, the more it goes again. Literally a devil. That's all I can think of. Because using techniques or a strategy just like that to make people like that your mercenaries, I am sorry to tell you, but that's very devilish work, you know? And then, just like I said, when you actually compare them to other people in the One Piece world, that's when you get an idea of how strong they might be. For example, Shamrock. Shamrock, we're saying that he's the evil twin with Shanks, and basically Shanks has a Yonko level, and we're probably saying that since Shamrock is the head and he's the captain of the God's Knights, he probably has the same powers or even more than his brother Shanks, you know? So at that point, we're placing the captain of the God's Knights to a Yonko level. And in that case, if it's a Yonko level, let's go just like Kaido. Kaido had his underlings. His underlings were 3 of them, like the biggest ones. King, Queen, and the mammoth guy, you know? So all 3 were pretty fucking strong, and I'm basing myself just on that. So if you put Shamrock as Kaido, as, you know, in the same power level, so his underlings in a way, his colleagues, his other God's Knights are probably as strong as King, Queen, and the other one, you know? That's what I'm thinking of. And so in Elbaf, we already got all 4 of them, but Shamrock left. So the fact that Luffy will be going against Shamrock, I don't think that's gonna happen in Elbaf. Maybe that's gonna happen at some point, you know, in the future, but not in here in Elbaf. In Elbaf, they're already gonna be facing 3 other God's Knights, and we'll just see how it's gonna go. And we're probably saying that the Straw Hats are gonna win, yes, but it's gonna be a tough fight. And then even when you classify them in the hierarchy, for example, you see that you've got the whole Marines, and then on top of it you've got the admirals, you've got Kong, that's the head of all of the admiral headquarters of all the world of One Piece, and then on top of that you've got the world government with the Gorosei. And then the Gorosei with him, they have their God's Knights. So the God's Knights are literally on top of all of the hierarchy that we've already seen in the One Piece world. And so based on that, I would also say that they are pretty powerful, and way more powerful than the admirals, for example. And that's why Luffy was toying with Kizaru the other day, you know? When it comes to the Gorosei, for example, I would say that they are very close to the same power level that the Gorosei has, because even Shamrock's dad, Saint Garling, he was able to become one of the Goroseis, you know? The other thing is the Roger Pirates. If we compare it to Scopper Gabon, for example, as soon as we compare Gungo or Summers or Killin or Shamrock, I think that even with being rusty, Scopper Gabon is still able to literally not one-shot them, but close enough, you know, because of what we saw in one of the previous chapters where Scopper Gabon literally sliced him in half, you know. So with that said, I think that Scopper Gabon is still way more powerful than the God's Knights. Like when he's in full power, you know, the Mountain Eater, he will Mountain Eat those God's Knights. And one very big thing I didn't want it to forget when you compare it to 3 more people. So Dragon, Big Mom, and Kaido. Dragon, just like we said, he should be here, you know. They said when the God's Knights are doing something, I'll be doing something. So we're just waiting for Dragon to do something. But then when you compare it to Kaido and Big Mom, maybe in the past they were afraid of those 2 people, and that's why the God's Knights never actually took part into anything, you know, because before this we didn't even know who the God's Knights were, and so it's maybe probable that they never met, you know. We don't know. But by the end of the story, I believe that the God's Knights are gonna meet their opponents in a way, you know. In here, where we are in Elbaf, yes, the Straw Hats are gonna be dealing with the God's Knights and Im that just showed up, you know. So I believe that's gonna happen, but I don't believe they're gonna be able to actually kill them and take their immortality out. Because I believe that's going to be one of the things that they're going to be doing by the end of the story, and not right now. Right now is just going to be a little sneak peek of what's going to be happening probably in the future. Just like what happened in Egghead, you know? Like there was no clear winner or loser. There was just, we escaped. Shit, we'd let them escape, you know? So that's what I believe is gonna happen, but this time I believe the God's Knights are actually gonna get their ass kicked by the Straw Hats, and they're gonna be retrieving That's what's gonna happen. And if I'm wrong, you guys let me know down in the comments below. And on that note, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.